Hello, I'm ABX Toycat and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 of the worst features that currently exist in Minecraft today. And if you're wondering exactly what I mean by worst features, basically there are some features in the game that don't add anything to the game. And that's fair enough, I guess. You know, they just didn't hit the mark. But there are some features which would generally improve the game if they were removed or just altogether replaced with something else. And those are features that I think are the worst ones, which I'll be covering with today's video. So please do like it if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do want to see more stuff like this on the channel. But let's get straight into this one already with the first one here, or number 5 I guess on the list, which is going to have to be the poisonous potato. So if you're not familiar with this item, and I wouldn't really blame you, basically when you harvest potatoes, you can, get your potatoes like normal, but you also have a roughly 2% chance of getting a poisonous potato. So as well as getting these potatoes, we also have the chance to end up with poisonous potatoes. And the thing that makes these things so useless is if you don't know, they have a decent chance of poisoning you, and just the way they're set up in general is just so very, very useless because, they're so rare that it doesn't really affect the game most of the time, but every now and then you'll collect one and it'll be like, okay then, so I've got a poison potato. What do we do with this? I guess we could get a friend in here, we could give it to him, and he might think it's a regular potato, and then he would get poisoned. But I mean, that's just so very useless. I mean, that's its very best case scenario, whereas, what in reality happens is if you have a big potato farm, like 100, 200 potatoes, you'll end up with a stack of these, like 8 potatoes or something, and they never have any use. If you have a single player world like me, there is literally no use unless you want to poison yourself, and even then there's better things to poison yourself with. And if you're playing on multiplayer, it's still so tricky to get someone to believe this because they have to be new to the game, they have to not know the difference between potato and poison potato. You can see there's a slight difference, and then they have to not read the text because as soon as you hover over it, it'll say poisonous potato. So the poisonous potato is just so useless, and it just gives you stacks of something you don't have any use for. I guess you have to burn them or something. So let's do that, shall we? But that's the poison potato right there. Very, very useless item. And let's move on to the second one, which is kind of in the same level of uselessness where they really said they would do something with it, but it just doesn't do anything right now. And that has to be the Cauldron. So the Cauldron is something that if you're new to the game, you're like, okay, so we need to do brewing. I think we need a Cauldron for that, right? And you waste, I think it's 7 iron on the whole thing. You're like, yeah, we got a Cauldron. Look how cool this thing is. Now we can bring water into the lab with us and, fill up our water bottles and, take those over to our brewing stand and do stuff like that. But the thing that makes the, this so useless is the fact that you actually take water out of it when you fill your water bottles up. So if we take out a water bottle, we drink it, and then we fill it up again, you'll see we actually wasted all of that water, and now we have to refill it again, which is just so very useless because for the exact same kind of thing, you can actually just dig a hole in the ground, fill it with a water bucket, and now you have an infinite source of water bottles. That's right, if you drink this all the way up, you can fill this and it doesn't take any of the water away. So the Cauldron is just a way of turning your unlimited water into limited water with no upside besides, literally no upside except you waste iron on it because you think it's cool. And I guess as a decorational block, it makes some sense, but as far as any practical use in the game whatsoever, it just doesn't. It's very, very useless, and that has to be the Cauldron right here. So that's why I think it's going to be this. Also, as a fun little fact, once you put water in there, you can't even take it back out again. It's stuck in there forever. This is something they said they wanted to put in the game, and it's kind of like a bug that they said they wanted to remove, but they just haven't. It's just a thing which I wish it was replaced with something else, or I wish it was just improved. I wish the Cauldron actually had a use, but if you have any experience with potions, you'll realize no, let's just not do that. So that has to be the Cauldron. Very, very useless feature if you ask me, but that's of course just going to be my opinion because I like things that do things. That's all I really like in the game. But feature number 3 here is going to be basically an item that you might not even realize exists, or you might not even made in a long time. But basically, if you put a bunch of if you don't put Neverwort in your potion first, or you're not making a potion of weakness, and you put anything else in there, what actually happens is you'll get a thick potion or a mundane potion, depending on what you put in there. I think thick you get with glowstone, and everything else gives you a mundane potion. And you might think, okay, that seems about fair enough, right? I mean, these potions are thick, so you can make some nice thick potions. Nope, these literally do nothing. They're just water bottles with this little, 2 dots down there, and they don't do anything. They don't turn into any other potions, and you just end up like... So basically, it's there to punish you for putting ingredients in the wrong order, except you have no way of realizing till it's done, and then you just have to drink your water and go back again. It's like, I don't see why this needs to be a thing. I mean... Maybe you do need to punish people for having, maybe you should punish people for getting things in the wrong order, but do you really need to, or is it just something that they thought would go somewhere and then didn't? I really do think it's the second category. I think that they were like, yeah, we're going to have this awesome feature where we can make slightly thicker potions by, making those first, and then they just didn't. And now we end up with these items, which are so weird that they're not even in the creative inventory. That's something a lot of people don't know. Like, you just never need to use them for anything, and it's just an item that exists and does nothing, and you'll end end up with them if you'd make a mistake, and I think that's kind of just a weird punishment. So yeah, Thick Potion, let's throw it in the hole, let's just get rid of it, shall we? And let's move on to the next one here, which is going to be, you probably guessed this would be in here, but it's the Dead Bush. So the Dead Bush is something which, again, it exists in the game as like maybe a decorational block, but the thing is, because of the fact that you can pick them up and you can do stuff, people think, oh, so we can grow them into a real thing, or we can put them here or do that. But nope, the shrub, you can't bone mill it, turn it back to life, and in fact, they can only be destroyed. If you punch them in the fist, they're destroyed and they're gone forever. And this means that they vaguely work as a currency, but even then, how many people have realistically ever used them as a currency? Because I mentioned in my currency video, they work great in theory, but just in practice, it's so difficult to use, and no one ever uses it. So yeah, the shrub is a potential currency that just isn't. That really just drains time and resources, because you're like, oh, we're gonna do stuff with these, or we're gonna do that. Nope, just doesn't work. And yeah, eventually you'll lose all of these in your world, and it won't really be a loss, but it will be a waste of time having destroyed them all by hand. So yeah, I think really the shrub and the Dead Bush could be really improved and just be turned into something that does something, even if it's just you can bone mill them and you get a fern outfit or something like that. I wish they had some functionality, or maybe it's nice to have just purely aesthetic blocks. I don't think so, but maybe you do. I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments down below. But anyway, let's move on to the last one here, which is, of course, you could probably expect there's some worse features in the game because of my constant rants about it, but it is, of course, the infamous gravel. So why is gravel bad? You might be like, Soy Cat, no, gravel has a really good use. You use it to get flint, because you have a 1 in 10 chance when you break a gravel block of getting flint. And I'll be in response to that, I say, oh yeah, you're right, you do have that 1 in 10 chance of getting flint. Flint is so useful. You need it to make, that one flint and steel you ever need. Oh, that's really useful. Also, if you're making arrows, like we all constantly do, yeah, that's pretty useful there. But the thing is, gravel just isn't that. The way gravel actually works is it spawns in big chunks underground, and when you're mining and you just want to get in the rhythm of mining, you just end up turning into a big chunk of this, and it's like, yeah, this is awesome. Mining, rather than just, mining your pickaxe, you have to switch to a shovel, or you have to, use the torch technique, and you have to mine through it, and it's just terrible. You end up with a block that looks like this. I mean, if the block looked better, or if it did something better, it'd be cool, but it just looks like this, and it's just really a worse version of sand, because if you want to have a gravity-affected block, you probably want to use sand, and the reason for that is because, 1 in 10, every time you break this block, you have a 1 in 10 chance of losing it and turning it into gravel, whereas with sand, it'll at least stay as the same block when it falls, and yeah, it's a gravity-affected block that doesn't even properly work for a lot of builds. So yeah, that's why gravel, I really can't think of any use that anyone would ever use this for, besides getting that flint every now and then, and even then, is that a good enough reason to justify having tens of thousands, I think it's actually millions, of separate blocks of this in your Minecraft world? I don't think so, and yeah, that's why gravel's the worst thing in the world. So yeah, those are 5 just terrible features that could really improve Minecraft by not existing. Let me know what your least favorite and most favorite were. If you have anyone you want to defend, let me know in the comments down below. I love to, read the comments there and get a kind of like dialogue going on there. And besides that, I hope you did all like the video, because if you do, you can like it and let me know. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, not always just going over the worst features, sometimes giving you a useful piece of information you might not have known before. And if you want to see that on your homepage, you can subscribe, and you'll see it there every single day, or twice a day, because that's how often I upload, in case you're curious. But yeah, besides that, I hope you all enjoyed your day, and I'll see you all in the next video. So, bye.